Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and we are here today with the inaugural episode of the Sister Wives ReHash.
So today we'll be delving into Season 6, Episode 10, Polygamist Marriage Therapy.
We were inspired by Janelle's tree necklace reemerging in the last episode that we watched for Season 19. So
the roots run deep on this one for the inspiration.
So we're revisiting when Cody showed all of his designs to the wives. This is a weird episode because it's like you watched 3 episodes in one.
I think this might have been when they were still switching over from the 20-minute version of the show, the 30-minute block, to a 42-minute episode for their full hours. So
I don't think that's a true fact.
Maybe they had it split up where it was 2 separate 20-minute episodes, and then they just smushed them together.
Because in here we have Leon upset about Cody not wanting them to take out loans to go to school. Then we have the premiere of the necklaces, and then they go to their first therapy session with Nancy, the one that Pat attended.
They had the Pat handoff, the Pat send-off.
So the plan for these little rehash episodes is going to be a loosey-goosey kind of recap. We're going to focus in on the things that we think are funny or interesting to talk about. If you want an in-depth, minute-by-minute recount of what happened, we already recapped this episode. You can find that over on Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Shall we get started?
We shall. And if there is excessive laughing, we apologize in advance.
I'm surprised we didn't crack up just as part of this intro here. So we've already made progress. Well. We were able to warn you before, because I think on the last Seventh Heaven recap that we did on the Patreon, even the disclaimer was already at an 11. So
that one got takeouts at the end. Takeouts?
Takeouts? I don't think it got takeouts.
We got takeout.
We got takeout. Yes, definitely. That's a
outtakes. There we go. We had an entire minute and a half of outtakes at the end.
The bloopers. Yeah, the bloopers are the best part. So I don't know. Maybe this one will have bloopers too. Maybe not the same. I'm never doing that again. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we'll start the episode.
Was this when we found out that they had been seeing Pat because we never saw Pat before? Or did I just forget her delicious appearance in past episodes?
No, I think, didn't we see Pat before?
I don't know. She didn't really help much, did she?
No.
No, they're convinced that she did. They pull into Nancy's office and Cody parks at a 45-degree angle.
I don't know how it happened.
Why?
And then when they walk in, it just, I don't know, it feels like the back room of a casino. But
does every place feel like that in Vegas?
But that's being run out of a pawn shop. So it's
it doesn't feel like you're in a medical setting. It's a lot of old furniture. It's kind of like being at Janelle's house. It should be comfortable for them. Familiar.
Well, just comfortable for Janelle. Nobody else.
The number of water bottles that Nancy had to put out for this session. She's going to have to upcharge them just in water bottle costs. Also, I've never been offered a bottle of water at therapy. Has anyone else?
No.
The tissue box I've seen. Tea, coffee, water, no. They're not planning to maybe work with Nancy long term, just depending how this first few days goes, they may or may not ghost her.
Just for now, we're going to give it a try and see how she does, because we have to see if Pat can even share all of this information and get her up to speed on everything we've covered so far.
I want to talk about Janelle's hair. It's something that's been very distracting for me going back and rewatching this. I think that she is bleaching it at home. We have an uneven lift of color.
It's a white.
It's white in the front, and then it's yellowing in the back. We need to get her a purple hair conditioner. It's shampoo. It's purple shampoo.
Purple shampoo?
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not a blonde, although many of you believe I am.
Strange. A little odd. You got big blonde energy over there?
I guess.
Is that what's going on? Why does Pat feel like it would be getting therapy from a Muppet? Does she have Muppet energy for you?
She has big Muppet energy now that you've said that.
Just Henson-esque, I guess, is where I would place that, because I don't know. She just carries herself in a way. It's
Robin maybe would have done better if this was hosted by Muppets.
I think it would have kept her engaged for a little bit longer.
Every time that Nancy speaks, she's just like, I found it very aggressive.
Everything's very aggressive as long as it's happening to Robin.
You're an aggressive woman, yo.
It's aggression against her. Any sort of accountability, any sort of questions, because even just feeling uncomfortable feelings in therapy, they're not even there yet. They're filling out the questionnaire to get a baseline of where they are.
Well, it's the personality test. So she put a label on it. That was probably her mistake. It's a test.
Well,
Robin thinks there's a pass and a fail.
Yeah, she doesn't like that. It's already triggering something of a response for her.
Nancy's whole office is triggering. There's a lot of books behind her.
Very intimidating for Robin.
Although she is an author. She's a New York Times bestselling author and author of The Muppet Babies.
That was her way in on The Muppets.
She was inspired by these sessions with Nancy.
With Pat.
With Pat. Wait, now Pat is a Muppet?
Oh, did I say Nancy at first?
Yeah.
Okay, no, Pat has
They're
Muppet
both Muppet-esque.
Energy. Huh. Is that just a therapy thing in general, do you think? Should that be studied? I don't think there's a way that Nancy can mess this up anymore. So that's why she was okay to take them on as clients. She's like, you guys have really done a bang-up job so far.
She's got no experience working with polygamous families, but she's not worried because they fucked it up pretty well at this point.
Yeah, I have nothing to lose at this point.
We were talking about the debacle with Leon's college tuition / how college got paid for in the Discord. And this is the episode where they talk about how all the scholarships came in and what Leon is getting from Westminster is not what they had expected. It's much lower. So now they have a problem.
And this always bothers me whenever Cody talks about student finances, student loans, personal finance. It's really not Cody's area of expertise, but all of the facts that he brings about student loans and how it's a ripoff and how it's made to put people into these impossible situations for paying them back. I agree with so much of what he's saying, and I absolutely hate that I do.
You hate yourself for it.
But then here's how I come to terms with that, is that I also know in the back of my head that even though those are the reasons that Cody is stating, I don't think those are the reasons of how he got to that conclusion. He's trying to avoid paying for all of his children. He knows he cannot afford to send every child that he has to college.
And he has to make sure that the ones who can't go because they don't have any money left are not Robin's kids. He's watching the pennies float away from Ariella's bank account and into Leon's. That's what he's seeing happening. A lot of zeros. There's a lot of zeros left in the family account.
Pluses and minuses, but
although,
more
did
minuses.
he even pay for Leon to go to school? Because Mary seems to say now that she paid for everything. Okay, this is why we need a family finance episode. We need a tell-all where they're just auditing them.
Do you think that the message that Leon receives from this, which is, if you can't pay for college, then you can't go to college. And then the other part of that is also, you can't take out student loans because I don't approve of that. Does that mean you're saying I can't go to college?
I think this whole conversation was very confusing. And all they needed to say was, nobody cares where your prerequisites.
Well, now things are getting ridiculous. A little bit ridiculous.
Someone's going to check where I got my prerequisites from. This is unfortunate because they did come from community college. And I was going to make the point that they should have gone to community college.
You don't need to...
or UNLV for 2 years. Get the classes that no one cares about out of the way. And then you pay for the school that you want the degree from.
Do not let others look down on you for your community college experience and prerequisites.
But I understand the confusion, because if somebody tells you, well, I want you to go to college, but I also have no way to pay for you to go to college, and unfortunately your scholarships weren't enough, that kind of seems like we're in a bind.
And your naval career never really panned out either after we invested so much into that. But that's why I'm not shelling out for college.
I'm still upset that nobody said, why don't you go live in Utah for a year and work? Because Leon said, I'll go work for the summer and make money. And it's like, you don't know yet how much tuition is in comparison to what your part-time job is going to make.
How many hours of minimum wage is it going to take you to pay for your college degree? It's too much.
But sure, go live in the Lehigh house for a year, establish residency so that you get in-state tuition at whatever school you're going to go to, and work and save some money up. You don't have to go to school right away.
See, I think Leon was interpreting it as this is a conversation that is geared to just tell me that I can't go to college, basically, and took it as a one-way conversation. Well, I think Cody's trying to present Leon with a choice here, but it just sounds like both of the options end in the same result, because that just means you can't do what you're asking to do.
Well, but one of the options was go to UNLV. And Leon is saying, I am not going to UNLV. I'm only going to Westminster, which kind of limits a lot of the possibilities. They should have come up with a plan of how do we get you to Westminster, but it's not going to be this year. It's not going to be right out of the gate.
Well, to just, have those options, it would be same thing. Yeah, if you had to move to establish residency, that still puts another year into it. So,
yeah, but would you rather live in Utah for a year, or do you want to go to UNLV for a year? Because it seems like the issue is they don't want to be in Vegas anymore.
Yeah, it seems like that's the big thing, is that Leon's just trying to go back to Utah. So why don't you just go back to Utah? You don't even have to go to school yet if you're not sure. But why does it have to be Westminster is the only option to go back to Utah?
Well, Leon is sure. Leon is very sure about Westminster. That is the only thing in this conversation that makes sense.
And that's all they want. They're only asking for one thing.
I just want to be a Westminsterl.
I gotta do it.
It's my only goal in life at this point. And Cody's been too busy designing jewelry to worry about making money to send kids to college.
Yeah, he likes to make jewelry just as a passion project. It's become his main goal in life to just get better at that.
Did he need to wrap all of the jewelry in My Sister Wives branded gift bags before he gave them to them?
Well, they need to know where they came from and the quality of the contents in that gift box.
They're courtesy of My Sister Wives closet.
At Robin's permission.
The wall art.
Yeah, because
the word art. It's not even wall art.
No.
I'm downgrading it.
Well, it's not on the wall yet. It is just word art at that point.
There was so much of it at her house because he's at her house first bagging everything before he brings it over to Mary's.
Robin's, of course.
Of course it was her place. Word art is the trash bin of the art world. Because if you think about it, like the origin of word art comes from when people didn't have phones and you had to go in the you sat in the bathroom for a long period of time sometimes and you need something to read.
That is not where I was expecting that story to go.
Come on. If you had a piece of word art in a bathroom and you grew up with this, you know that you read that thing like 65 times.
No. Do you know what I read?
Footprints in the sand? Everyone did.
That's Carly's favorite. It's funnier.
This is truth.
It's funnier because I know that there's still a Footprints in the Sand word art in your mom's bathroom.
Because
upstairs.
You read it when you were in the bathroom.
Because I did. Yes, I knew from experience. I felt very seen and heard. No, I read the contents of air fresheners. And the directions and the use and all sorts of stuff for that. A lot of air freshener
It's too academic for me.
Just the chemical compounds in the air freshener and fragrance. I was really hoping Cody would have slipped on that rock.
Slipped in where?
No, not slipping. Oh, hey, no. None of that.
Oh, he's always scaling the landscaping.
He's become like a little desert lizard that just scurries about. Kicks off the rocks
from yard to yard
and holds really still when Mary looks at him. Tries to blend.
Are we even surprised that he was at Robin's house?
No, this is his primary residence.
The fact that they were there leads me to believe that Robin saw them and was involved in the creation of them.
Robin designed these.
Oh,
These
there's
are
no
Robin
way
design-
she didn't.
They brought this in. They sold these pieces on My Sister Wife's Closet. So that's Robin's designs. Well, some of it's Dayton's, but she doesn't like to credit her contributing artists. She's like Lisa Frank in that way. So who's first up?
He has to distract from the obvious bias that he has for Robin. So we're just going to go in chronological order of when you joined the family.
At first, and then we'll change it up. They changed their mind about that
did
too.
they? I don't remember.
Well, they did start, I think it was Mary, then Janelle, then it goes Robin, and then Christine is last.
He couldn't help himself with that one. Basement wife always goes last.
Always last.
Regardless of when you join the family.
So Mary's going to crack this thing open. Let's see what's in the bag. What's in the bag?
Imagine if it had been the dog.
The original design, you mean?
Yeah, the face of the dog.
The Fidelis.
Would it have been a face of a dog or just an entire dog's body?
I feel like it would be a whole dog. It would be like the old piece for Monopoly, the dog, the little Scottish Terrier.
Oh, that's cute.
It would be that.
I would have liked it better than the Fidelis necklace. The heart wearing the crown. I don't think she knew what Fidelis meant, the scroll over it.
The bottom and the front bottom.
Okay, I don't think that's true. Corey believes that the Fidelis necklace has a labia.
Okay, listen. Listen. You got a butt on the top, and then you got some lips on the front.
You made us pause it to try to see, and then we removed the closed captioning to get a better look, and it was not there.
Okay, so
this is bulbous. There's nothing inverted.
Listen. In the footage that you see, so this was maybe not the final design that we got to see. This was an initial design. We know that Christine's
the prototype
changes around. Yeah. So this wasn't a mass market one. Have you not seen the adjustment that they did?
No, I don't think I saw Christine's final one. I'm going to have to look this
there
up
is
now.
another.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah, can you pull that up, dude?
Why didn't they ever tell us who sold the best on mysisterwivescloset.com?
Because comparison's the thief of joy.
I know, but I want to know. The Fidelis necklace, I think, was probably the most popular. It has to be. It's the iconic piece out of all four that were created. I totally forgot that Janelle even got a tree necklace. Like, who cares?
It's the story. She's an earth element, which they do have the elements icons ones too.
Hold on, I see it.
Yes.
I see it.
Yes.
So they took the black out of it and
yes.
they just etched it.
Yes. Even though Christine compliments Janelle's black metal on her tree, the leaves.
Yeah.
That's like her favorite part of Janelle's thing. And then when she sees hers, she hates it.
I don't think that was actually the issue that Christine had with her necklace. I think she had to find a reason to say she didn't like it. But I think the problem was Mary got this necklace that was very tailored to who Mary is. They all say Mary is very loyal. Then Janelle got a necklace that was all about being like one with the earth.
Sturdy. Big tree fall hard. Yeah.
Very Janelle-like. And I don't know that when she saw her necklace, she felt like it was a reflection of her personality. And because her and Cody are going through issues right now, which they're not really talking to us about. I don't think this is the season where they went for therapy yet. It's next season, right? Where they go
the anniversary
spend their
special.
big anniversary with Nancy.
It was another, and a Pat return that she basically came on board for another last-ditch effort at Christine and Cody's relationship.
In my opinion, she looked at this and she felt like he doesn't know me at all. And that's what was upsetting to her.
And she didn't know how to articulate that. So she just had to pretend like it was nice, and she absolutely hates it.
Oh, she doesn't pretend like it's nice. She wanted them to know that she didn't like it because she's very good at being fake. If that's one thing that Christine takes the prize for in this entire group, it's that she can be the fakest of them all and put on a good show. And she does not even attempt to pretend that she likes it because she's doing that the whole time with everybody else's necklaces.
She's clocking it. What was Robin's? Oh, the Phoenix, because that's such a character trait, how you put a pile of money in front of Robin and it just burns, and then
is that how Phoenixes are created?
You just keep putting piles of money in front, it just turns to ashes and then comes back with abundance mindset or something.
Emerges.
Rises from the ashes. The debt rises from the ashes.
Also, I thought that the chain that Janelle had on the necklace when we saw it, what was that, episode 20 of season 19, when she abandoned it, I thought that was a replacement chain.
Well, that one's real special. I don't know why.
No, it's like
it was the one thing.
It's like a chain you would put dog tags on.
Yep, it's the beaded one.
Janelle likes the beads.
Well, she kept asking me to buy her some beads.
Maybe that's why Christine was jealous.
She heard that. Hers is beaded?
She's looking around the room and she's like, this is not freaky enough for me. She wanted just a chain with some KY jelly hanging off of it.
A sex swing. and one little bottle of spermicidal lube.
I love how the special touch of the Phoenix necklace is that there is a heart. Its abdomen is the shape of a heart. Because she has to incorporate that into everything, which is how I know this is a Robin design. And actually, was there any heart shape in Janelle's necklace?
No. The leaves. Yeah, the leaves might have been.
These came from Robin.
Yeah.
She only draws hearts. We've seen her notebook. Dayton's notebook.
Well, and I like how it was probably Cody going to Robin and saying, look, here's my idea. I have to make designs for all of you. So you're going to make those because I don't design jewelry. That's your gig. And here's the thing. It has to have a theme in mind. Because when he was brainstorming with the people.
Who's the people?
The
ones who help them like cast the jewelry into stainless steel memories.
Yes. So I don't remember what I was saying. It's okay. I'm sorry. Hold on.
The people, when he was with the people designing the jewelry.
Oh, what I'm getting at is I get the feeling that this was Robin making these designs, and basically she had those 3 characteristic ones, and then whatever characteristic trait that he was trying to describe for Christine, Robin was like, I don't know how to design for that, so I made it. Here's a fairy.
She was like, it sounds like black magic.
She just reverted.
Scary.
Yeah, I don't know what words he was using to describe, but it sounded very ominous and scary, I guess, to her.
Christine's kind of chaotic.
She brings a level of chaos.
He doesn't even like her right now. That's a whole other element that's embedded into this necklace.
What are the emotions that are coming out in your description?
I mean, she does kind of give manic pixie dream girl, doesn't she?
When she's doing the fake stuff, yeah, a little bit. She did have a flower in her hair the first time I met her.
I would have loved to have heard her take on what she thought would have been a good design for her.
None of them can design jewelry, so how they ended up in a jewelry business, I don't know. I'll never know.
The weirdest part of it was Cody telling her, oh, it's okay that you don't like it. I don't love you any less.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I don't love you anymore. I never have, actually.
I didn't know that was on the table. That if I told you that I didn't like this stupid necklace, that you would not love me anymore. Those are little glimmers into the Cody Brown that we were not seeing on camera. And he did love her a little bit less that day.
I think that's where they struggled with therapy in this too, when they do go to Sedona.
Pat's not sure they're open to somebody.
Pat's doing a walkthrough.
Pat came to see the big chairs at the house.
It's been a while. It's been so long. See, this is where I was feeling like Pat had Muppet energy. When she's walking around the house, she's looking.
It's the perm. That's why you feel like she's Muppet-like.
Well, and maybe the outfit too. It's very Henson-esque. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of... Pat stops by their houses. Pat comes to Vegas.
The cul-de-sac.
Well, I guess Pat's driving through, right? Because we're going to go to Arizona now. This is a long trip for her.
You're asking a lot of Pat in this. But Pat is really invested in the success of this family in the future.
I'm still thinking there are no flights from Salt Lake City to Sedona. There's no way I would have driven that far. Sorry. Time is money.
This was all the fear, too, about them going to therapy as polygamists, because they had heard in the past that if you go to a therapist or a marriage counselor as polygamists, you'll just be told that your problem in your relationship is polygamy, and they'll try to break you up. Do you think that's just an excuse for most people who are in polygamous relationships who go to therapy end up realizing that they have a lot of irreconcilable issues?
And then they say, well, they told us that polygamy was the problem, so I left?
Well, no, I think it's other people then would look at that. Other polygamists would look at that and say, oh, see, the therapist broke them up. Yeah, because everything was fine before they went
them
in.
Up.
Well, that's the problem. Is so yeah, everything was fine before they went in there. And then now they got all these problems.
No, the problem is Cody Brown. It's not polygamy. It's just this man.
You were so close, Cody, when he said they'll blame it all on polygamy. I think what happens is you realize where the issues lie in a lot of these families, and that's why Robin's very uncomfortable, because she's feeling like things are coming back to her. She can't weasel her way out of this emotionally now.
There's a lot of red flags in the fact that Robin is so uncomfortable with every exercise in therapy.
And everything's aggressive. Everything is attacking her. Everything is dangerous.
Yeah, the word safe pops up a lot throughout this entire episode. It's kind of like annoying. You are safe. You're in a therapeutic environment, Robin Ellis.
Unless you are going on the hike that they go on, and then you are trying to meditate on a mountain and you're being attacked and assimilated by a colony of ants, then you're not safe.
That is the worst place to try to meditate, especially you are not new to meditating. Don't you normally start with trying to do something for a minute and you build your way up to working towards like being able to meditate for 10 minutes at a time?
You mean you didn't jump right into transcendental meditations? You didn't do that right out the gate?
I would be totally distracted by all of the ants.
I feel like the guy's probably like, he tried to slip them peyote in their water bottles before they came out here. And so he thinks that they're all tripping on LSD together, but
it would have been a better experience for them that way.
Honestly,
there are so few shoes in this episode. That's really what is alarming to me.
Yeah, those dogs are barking.
Like everywhere. There are feet everywhere.
We didn't get a dog on Mary's necklace, on the chain of her necklace, but we did get plenty of other dogs barking.
Do you think any of them still meditate to this day?
That's the only thing that's holding the loose veil on Cody's sanity now, is just those quiet, transcendental meditation moments that he has.
And hot lemon water.
Maybe that's why they bought Coyote Pass. It reminded him of being covered in ants. He's able to recreate that moment.
They go back and they talk about the personality test that Robin denies she ever took. She has no memory of this moment, even though she was so emotionally impacted by Mary's response to her results.
Well, that happens in the moment, and then that's good to show emotion that way, but I didn't take this personality test. Somebody else took it. That wasn't me.
My other personality too.
I don't know which personality took it. Yeah.
Sybil. Sybil showed up to therapy with Pat and Nancy today. I felt bad for Mary. Unpopular opinion.
I felt bad for Pat.
Just because the way Mary communicates doesn't mesh with the rest of the family, they all turn on her and attack her constantly. I think I've pinned down what it is. It's because it's easy to be empathetic when you're neurodivergent, because that's kind of what Mary's doing here. Mary can't be herself around them or they reject her. So she's learned how to mask herself in order to like just be tolerated.
Well, suppress. Yeah, you're like suppressing yourself because she would say things and she has to hold back, or just the types of conversations that she would bring up or things that she would address or how she would interact with these people.
No, you'd have to constantly second guess your natural instinct in how you would communicate with somebody because it's going to cause a problem. Every time she tries to approach someone, it causes friction in their relationship. That would be exhausting.
I guess Pat didn't pick up on that. That hasn't happened yet, but Nancy's getting this in their preliminary paperwork.
You know, I got all my prerequisites. Maybe I can go get my therapy degree. I'll be counseling the Browns next season.
I hope so. And Nancy also calls Cody out in their first session, too. So that was nice to see, because I don't think Pat was able to be their therapist this long without just completely allowing and tolerating everything that Cody does in a session. So Nancy's already butting heads with him here a little bit and challenging him, which is making Robin uncomfortable too.
The two of them team up together against Nancy. It only took one session to determine what the main problems in this family were. And it's Cody and Robin.
Because when Cody's talking about, yeah, we've discovered through the personality test that Mary's a problem and she's real hard to deal with and we should be patient with her and be okay with that.
And Nancy's like, you kind of missed the plot a little bit.
And also, yeah, because he's talking about managing. How do I better manage this? And it's like, that's kind of, you're putting Mary down in that because you're saying, hey, the way that you are, it's really not great. Don't like that.
Why are you the way you are?
Basically.
Janelle's clutching her pen like it's a cigarette. And she's like stressed out. The conversation takes a weird turn because now they start getting focused on talking about how they don't really have relationships with each other. Let's deflect from talking about Cody and his relationships with the women. And let's talk about just the wives, because that's Cody's favorite thing to do.
Well, that was Robin bringing that up.
Yeah,
so
because she's trying to protect Cody.
she's starting to, steer away as part of that conversation ramps up.
The issue here is really just that we don't have the sister wives relationships with one another. We don't spend enough time together. We're lazy. Janelle, you're lazy.
Just
Robin
another
from across
way.
the couch. Nobody wants to work on my business with me because they're lazy.
Yeah, I think that's some bitterness that she still has. Cody starts talking about stuff too, where he's saying, what was it? Cody starts assuming or speaking for the group, saying what was it? Oh my God. What is it? Oh no.
Do you want to rewind it?
It's getting further and further away. Oh, when he was speaking for everyone. When he's speaking for everyone and he's saying that, God damn it. God damn it. He's speaking for everyone.
Moving on.
Saying, I'm so close. I have to get it out. Hold on. Okay. When he's speaking for everyone and he's assuming that they're not invested. And so then that's when, oh no, Nancy. I almost called her Pat. It's Nancy now. Nancy's at the helm here.
Pat's like just staring at her shirt. She's like looking around the room, looking at her watch. When is it time for me to leave? Until
they go on to that other hike where they get to the deepest part of the woods and then
Nancy's like, time for me to bail.
Pat.
Because
that's what I'm saying. That's the best time for us to go ahead and just throw up deuces and disappear into the bush.
It's too confusing when the two of them are in an episode together.
Pat and Nancy.
Pat came to the realization sitting here during this conversation that she didn't really help them all that much. And good luck to Nancy.
Godspeed, Nancy. So they do, it's eventually they figure out that they're not really invested. Janelle's not really invested in the family.
They uncover like a very deep issue that's going on. They don't really interact with each other. Some of the wives don't really feel invested in fixing relationships outside of their relationship with Cody. But they decide that they want to spend their time when they do individual sessions with her talking about the family mission statement.
I think that was that Christine and Cody? Oh, Mary brought it up too. There was a couple.
She asked all of them about it because that is their pretense for meeting Nancy, is that they need to write this family mission statement. And they don't think they could do it unless they go to therapy.
Well, I think,
which should be indicative of something.
No, yeah, like therapy's not going to do that for you. I think you need to go talk to somebody who can advise you on starting a business, perhaps, or small business mentorship of some kind.
If for the mission statement?
Yeah, if you're trying to write a mission statement.
It's just for their family.
You're treating your family.
It is a business. The Cody Brown family entertainment business is the name of it. I think I just made that up.
Okay.
The old LLC.
Cody Brown Entertainment.
I made it sound like it was a home, like a hometown blockbuster.
Hollywood Entertainment Movie Village. You remember Hollywood Video? Did you ever have one of those?
Yeah.
Hollywood Video.
Weren't they a big competitor to Blockbuster?
A direct competitor, Carly.
They went out first, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, definitely.
After Netflix started.
Yeah. It didn't take long.
Can you even get physical copies of DVDs from Netflix anymore?
Yes, but that plan is very expensive.
Why? It should be the cheapest plan.
No, because they have to pay for shipping.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, do you still get the streaming?
Yes, I think so.
What if you just want the DVDs?
No, I don't think
I just want this to be a blockbuster.
That's the thing. You can't just be on the DVD plan. I think you have to have streaming and.
Bullshit, Netflix.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't like the xylophone music for all the therapy stuff. It's really throwing me off.
I think it's supposed to be relaxing.
It stresses me out.
Well, they're stressed out too. I think you're just picking up on what's going on with them.
Maybe. That might be part of it too.
Janelle got so wet when they met Joseph Whitewolf.
Joseph Whitewolf.
She was so excited.
Oh no. Where he's teaching them lessons about the grasshopper and becoming one with nature. and releasing Pat into the wild. That was the main reason why they had him on board.
That's why we have a session today.
That's why. So we can deal with Cody's grief of losing Pat.
She's going to just wander off into the woods somewhere and touch some stones.
Just disappear.
And go back to the 1700s where she came from.
I don't know. You think that perm came from the 1700s?
It's a natural curl.
No.
This was the session that Robin sat out on when she was sick.
Yes, because just reviewing their paperwork, the personality test, and having one brief conversation, that was too much. They had to go on a walk, and then Robin had to say she didn't feel well and she wasn't going to be going on anything else.
So they had to pivot. They had to change plans because they were going to do the exercise where they had to sculpt themselves.
How mad do you think Robin was when she found out, though, that they didn't do that exercise without her because they needed all 5 people? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, it was like she knew what was on the agenda and she was specifically trying to skip that. That's like when you try to miss inventory and they just reschedule it.
I deliberately scheduled it for that so that I would miss it. So I think that's what Robin was trying to do was, I'm sick. Because she saw what the exercise was, or maybe Nancy had mentioned what they were going to be doing on the next session.
Teased it out a little bit.
That was a little bit too much for Robin to even handle, so she didn't want to do that. And then come to find out, well, we just won't do that. We'll wait until Robin's feeling better tomorrow. So that does lead us to when they try to stand around in the circle, they're trying to form
some type of orbit. They're trying to send the family into the celestial universe.
They're trying to figure out, how they're going to arrange the seating on this celestial bus.
Didn't Robin stand next to Cody the entire time?
Yeah, pretty much the whole time.
She never changed where she was.
Unwavered, because she knows exactly where she stands in that relationship. I loved all the times when she was talking about how she was a monogamous person and she chose polygamy, but hey, who knew she was going to be going back to monogamy aside from us?
Nancy. I think Nancy knew.
Nancy was told.
Wouldn't you be alarmed by that as the therapist? Because I would think my rationale would be you're the newest wife. So you should feel like you're the least connected to everyone.
Yeah, I thought we would be dealing with a different set of problems. But based on what's going on, I think I have a pretty good read on it, just based on people's placement. Because like you said, Robin never moved. Christine and Janelle both went through a couple different iterations because they had no idea where they stood with Cody, probably, I think was a big factor in that.
Christine was pathetic. Like at one point she stood in front of Cody to force him to look at her.
Just any sort of attention that she can get.
Could you please recognize me, remember that I'm here? And then she stood behind him because that's in actuality where she is.
Because she was lying
in the
at
past.
First. Well, yeah, she was lying at first. And then it was, no, where would you really stand? What is your assessment of where you are now, currently? It's behind Cody, not even in his field of view.
Nobody even realizes Mary's been standing on the outskirts. She also doesn't really move.
Well, even when they brought it in, so they did pull Christine back in and Janelle, but Mary was still a little bit further out.
I don't know if you could really do this exercise with three people, with 5 people, because the entire time you're probably thinking about being judged by the other people in the family, depending on where you choose to stand. So are you really getting a true representation of where they feel they are in the family, or are they censoring themselves to some extent?
Well, I think that was what was happening with Christine at first, because she was trying to still be nice about it, didn't want to hurt Cody's feelings by saying that they were in a bad spot.
Janelle doesn't give a fuck.
Janelle's like, no, I'm over here.
The comparison where she's like, yeah, I'm not really invested in this anymore, to be honest. So what is your other question, Nancy?
If you'll refer to your packet, I feel like I've answered most of this other crap.
When do we get to take our shoes off?
They're already off.
Their feet were all over that couch. Were they in someone's home?
Joke's on you, Nancy. This was like
There was a grill outside the window behind Nancy. There are family pictures on the wall. Either it was an Airbnb that they rented or this was Nancy's home that they were rubbing their feet all over the couch, the upholstery everywhere.
Do you think your first session with Nancy has to be at her house? This isn't her house. What are we talking about? She doesn't live in Sedona. She has an office in Vegas.
I don't remember where Nancy was from. Oh, yeah, because when they were in Vegas, when they were living in Arizona, they had to travel to Vegas. The
one time.
The casual, 6-hour ride to go visit Nancy in silence on the way home.
It's either 6 months or 10,000 miles, whatever comes first in the Brown family.
Wasn't it COVID during that or was it before that? Because
didn't
they have telehealth implemented?
You ready? We were watching it during COVID, but it was
3 years earlier.
Yeah, so they were way behind.
Yeah, they needed the telehealth changes to come into effect where they could have just met Nancy on Zoom. Put Miles on the car instead.
Not in season 14. COVID didn't happen on Sister Wives until, what was that, season 15, 16, 16,
It was
17?
part of 15, wasn't it?
Oh, man. End of 15, maybe.
Who wants to remember? Nobody. We don't want to relive it.
Not interested.
I would have liked to get an analysis from Nancy of what she thought she learned from that. Cody just keeps trying to make the point that you can't all be orbiting around me. You need to have relationships with each other in case I die. Because what's going to happen to this family then? What is going to happen to Robin then? Who's going to take care of her?
That was what Cody was scared of, is that if he's no longer in the picture, then Robin is left with nothing because she doesn't have a relationship with these other sister wives. She married the man, not the family.
I'm just amazed that every time they attempt to talk about their relationships individually with him, he diverts attention to talking about their relationships with each other, which is exactly what he did here.
That's basically what's going on, because then they do ultimately come up with the most, I almost said compromising, but no, it's it's not compromising.
Put them in a compromising position.
Put them in a compromising position to compromise. And this was what they all agreed upon for their stance of what they would want to be, which is the arms around each other and then the heads leaning in, foreheads touching. I think what my issue is, and then what the issue for Christine and Janelle, maybe Mary a little bit at this time too, is that if that's what we want this to be like, if this is what we want to see our family look like, we need to align in this way then and do this. But we're not. We're still, it's heavily favored where it's Robin and Cody. So if this is what we want it to be, we need to work on making it look like this, but nobody's doing that.
Do we have to do that in therapy? Do we actually have to do the work to change our relationships with each other? Because that's not, we just want to talk about the mission statement.
Well, and
Can we move on to that?
Because that's what I'm saying is if Cody's saying, oh, look, I want everything to be perfectly balanced, everything equal amongst my wives. Okay, well, you're not doing anything in your behaviors that illustrates that that's your position that you want to be in.
Scooch Robin out of the way.
Yeah. But then that's just the disconnect that you're having here is where, yes, you have this idealized version of what you expect it and what you would want it to be. And that sounds good, telling everybody, I want things to be equal for all of you, while strongly favoring and heavily considering one wife in front of the others.
There was no favoritism, Corey.
That's all made up.
The last exercise they have to do is they have to draw words on blocks.
Maybe put some shoes on. That might be another challenge that they have to face after this.
The point is for this to be the beginning inspiration point for the mission statement.
You guys are making a word cloud. Yeah, that's what's going on?
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Just throw up a bunch of adjectives and nouns and something. I don't know, words.
Well, that would be a Mad Lib. I don't think they were doing that unless they had some
faith, God, family, love, abundance.
Mad Libs then. Yeah, I wonder who wrote that one.
I think we can all tell who contributed which pieces to the puzzle. They are very impressed with themselves after having completed this.
But then somebody made the mistake of asking Janelle what her thoughts are on it, and she's got opinions. She wants to change it. She's going to do some alterations here.
when they first showed us how they had the words stacked, because they showed a picture of what it looked like after Janelle fixed it, quote unquote fixed it, but it was before. Does that make sense? They spoiled what she was going to change. And when I saw God, faith, and that was like stacked on top of everything, I thought that came from Robin.
Well, I feel like that came from Cody.
No, but Janelle rearranged the blocks so that they were stacked vertically. It's not important.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we talked about it then.
Maybe they could have just called this the end of it. Like, is a word cloud enough for us to work off of? Do we need a mission statement where we turn these into actionable steps? Because they're not really good at following up on anything anyway.
I can't go talk to the Sharks until we have a mission statement, guys.
It's not for the business. First, we'd like to read you our family mission statement.
Well, I think the problem is that Cody is trying to run a family like a business, and then they mixed a business into the family, and you found out quickly that you could not manage family nor business, and you have no business being in business, sir. Please mind your business.
Mind your business. I think that's where we're going to have to end this episode.
They went into a mid-season tell-all after this episode because season 6 was the longest season to record. But, I mean, season 19 is going to be pushing that.
Yeah, but this was episode 10, and episode 11 was a tell-all. We went 20 episodes in season 19, and now we're just at a mid-season break.
No tell-all? No mid-season tell-all?
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
want a mini tell-all. Give me something.
That would have been good. That would have been better.
Bring Suki out. We need to start asking questions.
Well, it seems like most of the stuff that they have for the tell-all that they were showing is going to be stuff. Maybe that was just like the half then. They haven't showed us any of the other things that are coming in the rest of the season.
Oh, like what the other questions
what
would
those
be
other
about.
arguments and stuff, yeah.
They need to crowdsource. Well, I guess this doesn't make sense since they already filmed it. They should crowdsource questions from the audience.
Like on Housewives.
Yeah, but the way they do this makes it impossible because we would have had to have done that in the past.
You think they can do anything live? Yeah, they don't do live stuff.
There's no way they could film a tell-all and turn it around in a couple of weeks. No, I don't know why I said that like it was a question, like, can it be done? The answer is no.
That's basically live.
Not for them.
For them. I don't know what we have here.
Do we have any announcements?
I guess,
Oh, you can join us over on Patreon. Our Let's Talk About It episode that's going to be coming out next week is about an update on our family, which is diving into the YouTube family vlogger world with the Stofers who rehomed their son Huxley, if you recall that from a couple years back.
You might know them as the Stoffers, but Carly just called them the Stofers. So maybe you've heard that too.
I'm ready to eat. I need a lasagna.
Micah. Stoffer.
I tried. There's also recaps of Natalia Grace.
Oh, yeah. Polished that off.
And over on Surviving Reality, our other podcast, we are talking about The Traitors Season 3. It's amazing. I can't say anything else because I would just spoil it.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it already, you got to go check it out.
So stay tuned. We're going to be releasing new episodes every week on Monday morning while the mid-season break is going on for Sister Wives. And we have other things going on in our other channels, so make sure that you're subscribed and paying attention.
This is a new format. Let us know how we did in the comments.
No, only please be nice to me.
But be nice.
Someone called me stupid and drunk in
Stupid and drunk?
Yeah, in a recent review. And I wasn't drunk, so I'm a little I think I'm extra offended.
Maybe it was just the last episode they listened to.
Can you, if you don't like an episode, can you specify which episode it was?
Now we're arguing a stance that I don't think we're going to be able to defend here. Can you provide me more information? But also don't tell me if you don't like it.
Exactly. That's a dichotomy of contradictions. I can't help myself.
So it's good. It fits.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.